All right, welcome to the Identify a Moment of Professional Growth task in the Author an Artifact into Your Portfolio course. Remember, the purpose of the portfolio is to capture moments of professional growth generated from your program. And the purpose of this course is help you author a moment of professional growth into your portfolio. So that makes this task pretty important because the purpose of this task in the course is to help you identify a moment of professional growth to capture in your portfolio and identify where in your portfolio site you will author this moment of professional growth. Because we like to think of we're writers. We're going to write this into our portfolio. So we're going to author this into our portfolio. So first we want to do is take a minute, and it might be good to have a piece of paper beside you, is to do a little reflection. Reflect on past experiences in your program so far. And just think about what pops into your head. Like, what are some meaningful moments? So if it's a reading, if it's a discussion, if it's a paper, if it's a project, if it's even could be something from a field experience where you journaled about it and you captured some moment like, whoa, this is what it means to be a teacher. This is what it means to be an educational leader. What moments stand out to you? And so what I would suggest is pause in the video and take a few moments to just, what pops into your head? What are some moments that stand out to you in your program so far? Go ahead and hit pause. All right. So you hit pause, you hit play again. And so you think about whether those moments stand out to you. And so you're considering those moments of professional growth. You're considering the things that stand out. And so looking at the list, what moments stand out to you the most, right? Which moment can you most clearly describe why it was important to you in your growth as an educator? So it might not be the most important one, but it might be the one that might be the easiest to kick off. What does it look like to author an artifact into your portfolio, or author a moment of professional growth into your portfolio? So what you're going to do is, from that list, okay, pick one moment of growth that you can describe as a moment of professional growth as you move on to the next task in this course. This would be the moment where you can describe when and where the moment happened. You want to be specific, and why it's important to you in your growth as an educator. So again, it doesn't have to be the most important, but it has to stand out. Now, the thing is that anything on that list, given that it stood out to you, and given that there's many moments in your program you've had so far, even if you've only had a course, you still have had many things. The fact that those things popped out, that means that they're important. And then the thing is, if you pick one of those from the list that pops out, you know it's important also. So think about the one that you can describe the details of the most, okay? And what we're going to do is we're going to author that thing into your portfolio. Okay. So to identify where you're going to put that thing in your portfolio, you're going to just basically do the next steps. And this is going to be fairly easy. So I'm going to share my screen. Let's see here. We're going to go in here and we're going to share my screen. All right, so I'm in my portfolio. Okay, so I went to my Google Drive. I'm only logged in with my @Go account, right? I'm finding my portfolio site that's in my Google Drive. I'm only logged in with my @go.olemiss.edu account. So I'm in my portfolio. I'm going to go to the home page just to make it easy, so everybody has the same reference point. And then what I'm going to do is go to my first artifact page that's not used. So I'm using one there. So I'm going to go to artifact 2. For most of you, it's going to be artifact 1. Okay. It's going to say context, artifact, reflection, and justification is going to be the 4 things we're going to be looking for. Okay. So it's my first artifact page. It's all set. And yeah, so this is where we're going to author this artifact into your portfolio. So you've selected a moment, and we're going to go in and we're going to put that moment into here. And we're going to talk about what artifact means in a second. But basically, the big thing is to identify a moment of professional growth. Okay. So for example, one moment of professional growth that I'll probably talk about here is the first time I wrote a test in my field experience. It was a disaster, but I learned so much from that experience. And it's still, even 20 years later, I still think about that moment. So you might not have 20 years of reflection behind it, but still there's some moment that stood out to you that you learned something from. And so you want to make sure to capture that. So this is going to be, we've got the place where we're going to author this moment and connect it to an artifact. So this is it for this task, is you've identified the moment and you found where you're going to put it into your portfolio. It's the first blank artifact page. Okay. Great job. We're ready for the next task.